rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bouncer. The oppressor's about to get ousted. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late for an apologetic claim. You rapped at a coca, blame by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With some presses attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. No, I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or kneels. Too late when the caps get pills. Don't believe a GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the song. All red in my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride the night. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' win them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is, and it's like, nobody ever stopped.
This is for my Zionist people. My sights on the prize lies right in front of my eyes. Success, longevity, good health, all my guys no longer flirt with death. Despite her thick thighs, long hair and promiscuous ways, I trick you guys. The results, lives are lost. Jesus wept, mama cries. I surmise the most high rises as the drama dies to my surprise. I analyze the wise, never argue with you fools. Schools of thought I graduated from, plus use a few tools. Shoes are utilized, it's what I do. I do who tries fail. I change the game, not he who buys sells yet. Things are still the same, he who flies sail the ship of destiny, or a rock through skies of hell wet, or in a pot of poverty. Arguably, not probably, nor possibly, but you'll adore her heart and father G. No more, so no question of who the father be. I son, all you motherfuckers thinking you as hard as me. Cross country, familiar lanes and foreign lands. Mars claim they gang, but not forever stolen lands. While they steadily back doing their own lands, I'ma milk this train like a bowl of golden grams. I've come a long way from 92nd and Axis with Grand Chili, a big old can of Texas. Rose from cold to hot, the temperature check it. Jealousy and hate is the cause of what success is. The lessons learned are the ones that are best lived. Life's precious, she's quite majestic, kiss her wet lips. Inspect the guest list for the extra with the death wish. Embrace the envious with a hug of love's the message. Such a fetish, though there's no church in the wild, I still came through fresh with a burst of style. Swag surfing, the game ain't been hurt in a while for you boosters out there. There's much merch in the aisle. Push the dirt in a pile, Joe. It's time to sweep up, no falling back. I'm moving forward, trying to keep up. I'm shining, turning my life light and heat up. A closed mouth don't get fed, you starving, then speak up. Cross country, familiar lanes and foreign lands. Mars claim they gang, but not for our stolen lands. While they steadily back, doing their own mash. I'ma milk this, drain like a bowl of golden grams. Shoot for my engines. Most death. It's feathers up. Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
All truth is universal. There's certain things that are universal. Honor your mother and your father. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
This rhythm is quite refreshing. With that being said, permit me to breathe on y'all for a second. Check it out. No need to look afar, but look asar. You agreed to put a scar on the foot of God. Wisdom of Tahotep from the book of Ra heals all wounds even after you took Ahmad. All praise is due. 21 gun salute. Lick shots at you whack rappers. I smack actors. I track trappers down. Place the crown upon my head. Spread my appreciate amongst the dead backpackers. Bring the royal back to life, back to reality. It's all about reality, not about a salary. For the love of this light, naturally, Mesoamerica with Yeezys with bows and arrows be narrowly, barely escape sex grass. So carefully I trace my steps and ask Sharice to marry me through grace. She accepts and last. This is why white Jesus will at last unsparingly erase every bit of your history. Similar to what you did to me. You're kidding me. My forebears.
You all big and everything. You all big and everything. Look at this.
I'm the last
I'm talking to you.
The last
All big.
airbender to smash beats, let us all hell niggas, nug on netta, the living word, y'all just some dead letters, whether Anunnaki or Anasazi. The first Americans were not Africans, nor Nazi, Norsemen, Vikings, or some redskin, tribesmen, scientific proof, archaeology. So cosmologically, Caucasians lied about documented evidence with rocks cried out, wiped out from the top of Mount Sinai. I shout the land of our ancient Kemetic gods. Myself, my route from South America. We dare to sail back across
My
the
route to
Atlantic,
South America.
West Africa, well, we return under the 29th, Perla to Moreau.
Bunch of bars down there talking about who are we. I got videos that I'm gonna post showing you indigenous people in South America. Hey, Ace Live in the head. I said, take your butt there and find out. You so stuck, all them Haitians and Jamaicans stuck with their head up Africa's butt because of the bells, because of the light skin man. They don't like to learn from those of us who know, the innovators, the truth sayers. My apologies. My hair looking crazy. I was getting my shalom on, for those who don't know. Not in the way you think. It's different. This is 35 years old. From a Palestinian. He told me, he says, you're the real Jew. He said, I said, I don't like the word Jew. He says, I know. But most people here know that you and us are the real ones. So in the 80s, y'all, yeah. So is that 30? 88 would make it 30, about 35 years ago, 37 years ago. This is from a Palestinian. See that right there? Do y'all know about the henna, the stuff they put in their beard? That's because he had just did that. They just had their thing, and he handed it to me, and his finger had the dye on it, and it's still there. It's been washed. It ain't coming out. So this was made by a Palestinian in Palestine and given to me.
down, soldier soul can't reclaim it. You didn't try to
Funny when people, you know, in the 70s, back in the 80s, know who you are, but you still don't.
Instead, you continue to entertain us with the
Facts.
same lameness as the rest of the entertainers.
And he didn't even know that I'm part Jewish, German, but not no.
Even more faceless, realize the ones that look like us are even more racist. The white man's not the white man. Some might say explain this first. The slavery was the
Germans that married in my family were darker than me.
His descendants, for sure, are your favorites in all facets of society. Yet what's the status to the sacred?
Darker than me. About as dark as my great grandmother. I mean, dark. Real Germanic people. Real ones. Not the frauds. Well, not all of them are frauds. There were light skins there too. It's like everywhere. But the ignorance is taking over because you know who made sure of that after the First World War and then the Second World War. The ones that betrayed him in the first one and the second. That's why I can't stand when people talking about lynching my people. You bunch of cowards. That's why you need to pay attention to the women, the people who made things happen to steal land that still don't belong to them. None of this land. Bill Gates can't buy nothing. But because we got a bunch of dumb young Negroes walking around talking like, hello, how are you doing? And running around with Antifa and this, that, and all lives matter and red lives and candle white and whatever. The dumb teaching kids porn, you know. Those are the worthless Negroes that gotta go. But one day. Don't be playing with this. Do not be playing with these books. And don't get them as a collector. Don't do it. 99.99% of you can't deal with what's in here. All the ones I'm not going to show you.
It's almost like the powers that be want for you to relinquish your self-confidence, the power that we have and the power that we have in ourselves. They want you to submit that to them before they will allow you to be in the have the riches and the success and the fame. I have to have something like a headquarters just in case you get out of line. I'm glad you said that. I've read an insert. And it was a blogger. Okay. And the blogger was speaking about how once you reach a certain plateau of financial status, you have to do something strange for the change. You cannot get over that hurdle until you do something strange for the change because they do have to have something over top of you if you get out of line.
And that's what I see here too. And that was created by them fake Jews and them worthless Negroes who came out of the prison system. Something strange for the change. Quincy Jones, notorious for it. And then you look at all the people worshiping and praising him. I hate when people come along and talk about Snoop Dogg. I say he even went through his little effeminate moment. I can't stand it. I'm a Crip. So what? You know what I mean? So I was going through some things, right? And I wanted to point something out. You have the CIA, right? I think a couple of days ago, over somewhere in the Congo or somewhere over there, they caught some CIA operatives. Now, what you need to know is you have contractors that work for the CIA. Mostly special forces, Delta, dissidents, and it was 3 Americans. Obviously, one was pale skin and 2 was Negroes. One was actually from over there, and the other one was American Negro. What's comical is that you don't hear about most of the ones that die. Right now, I was attempting to get a list from a friend of mine who's from Ukraine on how many special force operators, contractors for the CIA, because you know they have 10 outposts between so-called Russia and Ukraine and other ways, Poland and all that. They're the ones that stirred the problem in the first place. And he says, man, y'all be surprised to know how many so-called Canadian, American, Australian, you'd be surprised at all these idiots that run over there And in the first couple of years of this goofy war, the first year of this goofy war, the Ukrainians didn't really give a damn. The fake Jews. Anyway, they were sending them out in the field with no direction, no nothing. I shared one video. I'm gonna put one up on here of the Chinese guy with Lil Blackie, the African brother, and they tight like glue. All right, and he's a mercenary, the one who fought for Russia. And he's talking about what he's seen, what he's been through. Now there is some Canadian guys, and one Austrian guy who can't stand Ukraine after going to support and fight for them, how they treated them. Most of them went out there with 100 men and came back with 3 or 4. So these videos were hard to come by. I actually found a couple, one on TikTok, a couple on TikTok, but the other several I had to edit, and it was because it was on Signal and a couple of other platforms that some of you will not be able to find. You're not a veteran, and you will not be able to pop a DD214 up and show them and see raw footage from people's cameras and stuff like that they carry, and you wouldn't want to see it. I shared it with some of the guys in my phone chat, and they can legitimately tell you that I am showing some very grotesque stuff that I would never show on here. People always see the bomb and explosions like Hollywood, but they never see the cause and effect. Now, some of us grew up in the time where you got to see in Newark, New York and stuff like that, and Philly and PA, you got to see heads and hands and stuff rolling, car accidents, shootings left and right. Some of you grew up like I did. Some of you aren't drug dealers and didn't get to see the other side of it. Some of you didn't go exploring abandoned buildings and walking into bodies that had fully decayed, was just leather and bones and clothes, or bodies that were the first weekend in 80-degree weather and looking like the Penguin, from Batman, all swole up, and you pop it with his skin, and the worst smell, besides the smell that's in there, comes out and it stays on you. I remember my grandmother, mama was like, what in the, me and Rafi and a couple other people, John Houston, that's Whitney Houston's half brother, Sissy Houston, who grew up with me in Washington Apartments in Beechwood Gardens Apartments on Washington Street, excuse me, 124 Beechwood Gardens Apartments in East Orange, New Jersey. And 07042, no, that's not clear. Oh, anyway, and we came home after prodding 2 dead bodies, sticking them, popping, the holes, like, is it really, really dead? Like dumb, like in our teens. And that smell stayed with me. That's why I was able to do the job, like, even right now I talk about it, I know exactly what the smell's like. It ain't nothing like when you walk in on it, but for those who know. But what I was looking at, and compared to what they were saying, I didn't upload the videos yet. I got to really go over and make sure that these are just talking points, and I edit out any, guys flying into 100, you know what I'm saying. So the funny thing is, these agencies, when they were prescribed, first of all, you got ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearm. What makes them think that they can regulate guns? This is where you see Dettelbeck and all of them are foreigners. They don't have an oath, as they should be taken, and the person that established it, he was a homosexual, but he also was a Negro. Regardless of his light skin and complexion, millions of them running around this country, millions. And they claim profess white and all this other dumb stuff. But anyway, the FBI was the first thing, wasn't the first thing, but was utilized against us on our soil because of the ignorance of many of our parents and foreparents. All right? And in the CIA, well, let me read this about the CIA, just to give you an idea. List of CIA controversies. But anyway, regardless of that, because of the excessive secrecy surrounding CIA operations, little is known about its domestic activities. In its 1947 charter, the CIA, OSS, was prohibited from spying against Americans, in part because President Truman was afraid that the agency would engage in political abuse. You see that today. But then you have the goddamn towers come down, and you have the Witch-Call Act, right? The towers weren't brought down by no goddamn foreigners. I know too many people around the world. I know an airport in a certain country when I'm looking at it, and it's funny how they put all this stuff together with nobody having the knowledge to do the research. Then those of us who were down there and we saw the molting still, and you know, we were like, wait a minute. I know about thermite, and I know thermite does that. Where's thermite in the aircraft? In any one of the aircrafts? It's damn sure not using the building. Then we heard about these, we come later find out, a couple of them were Mossad agents, but this Israel art thing was flying around the buildings. And then they got to go up in there on certain floors and look at, supposedly looking at the construction. And they went up in there with tools and stuff. And those floors were cut off. But this wants to be, all right, because they want you to buy into the lie for so long, so that way they can get you right here to where you at right now. Okay? Now, we can say this is all hypothetical. We can say for entertainment purposes. But there are far too many people with professional expertise in this, and those of us who work with certain things to know how these things perform, who are even quiet kept, who actually had to, hands on thermite and showing people out in the woods, not in the woods, but you know, in a clearing, how thermite burns, even as far as magnesium breaks, because we had to learn how to fight that using AFFF and all that kind of crap. Yes, so if something goes wrong with my prostate, you better believe AFFF, CCP, and all that other stuff is because of it. So, regardless of that stuff, it's not supposed to actually be operative over here. All right? So you can go ahead and you can look up all the CIA missions and everything and all that stuff for those who get all caught up in that. So you got to look at CIA in the South America operations, military deployments worldwide, the activities they place in Africa. First of all, words have been written about CIA activities in the USA, but not a line about CIA activities in Africa. Yet it is in Africa that CIA actions have been most devastating. The CIA, as an arm of American foreign policy, working in conjunction with British intelligence, has made shambles of American independence. CIA has fucked the word of the land up. The funny thing is you still got people running to go join it. And who is it now? Mostly foreigners, or people who have been in there for a while, and they believe in what they do. But some of these in certain special groups working on DARPA, this and another, they get to see things, and then certain people are hand selected, you probably think are dead. And they use equipment and stuff that you'll never hear about, never see, aircraft, things that you will go, wait a minute, that's some Star Wars shit. And I'm only saying that because there's a point where I'm going to read something in the Book of Five Rings that I need you to pay attention to. Now, I'm not against agencies and all this shit. I'm against the purpose and how they were created and how they've been mismanaged and misused by these fake-ass Jews. And that's a fact. And what's mind-boggling still, not mind-boggling to me, but mind-boggling when you really look at the apparatus of it all, is these people willing to fight. And right now they're fighting Myanmar, they're fighting the Ukraine, they're fighting India. They're fighting every damn where. Y'all just unaware of it because they're still allowing you to be comfortable while they're poisoning you. Why would anybody want to poison a certain group of individuals while the rest of the world is making theirs as healthy as they possibly can? Why is it that y'all afraid to go to these companies and these places and tell them shut this down? You're going to stop this shit right now. What? Because you don't know how to come together. You're still listening to a bunch of idiots out there that don't know no better. Now we got a bunch of mama's boys and mamas and daddy's girls sitting in baby, because it's not just guys, sitting on computers, and that's all the fuck they know. They don't know how to live. They don't know the first thing. They know how to age. That's all the majority of people know how to do is age. They do not know how to live. They know how to go to work, slave. They know how to pay the bills, slave. They know how to go and buy groceries at the store, not grow it, slave. They like to go and be mismanaged and misused. And they buy all the technology thinking that's supposed to make it easier, as promised by the Jetson era as far as the nuclear family, to which was destroyed about 30 years ago. So the best bet is to be able to be in the military or somewhere, or contract, and go in the police department and push for better hopes to get into the FBI, the CIA, to betray your own people. Talked to a Chinese guy, I told you not too long ago. Him and his family. Well, a few people. And they said how they were very aware of certain Chinese individuals coming over here, and they knew they were soldiers. They knew that some of them special operators. They also heard people talking. Someone that can't wait to get here and get supplied, and so they can strike out. Who you think's going to strike? Who you think's going to supply them? Is it you? Do you think it's the Turner books? No, it's going to be the CIA and FBI and those motherfuckers giving them jobs, making everything look normal. This fake ass government who don't respect your oath, and a bunch of dumb pale-skins who can't get their heads out their ass and realize how important it is because they don't know shit. They don't know what you've done, what your people have done is what you've done, what you've created here. And the fact that so many live so many lives is unbeknownst to me. I hope y'all sharing this, man, and sharing it with the people on my other page, all right? Because this is getting to be monotonous. Now, I know it's a Friday, and I know people out here come over here, indigenous, and they getting high and getting drunk and looking stupid. They're going out, eating a bunch of garbage, and Monday they'll wake up with the nose sniffling, this, that, and the other, and they be fooling themselves. Now, again, I'm not, because I got friends, like I said, I know people who work in the agencies, and that's all I can say. Is it a secret? No, but it's not my place or my business to say it. I can only talk about the things that have happened. Who supplied the sheriff, the witch call marshals, with the C4 to drop in 1985 on the projects of the move in Philly? Where do you think the police department got fucking C4 satchel charge to drop out of a helicopter? Don't go guessing and thinking you know and making up some shit. All right? Yeah, I'm gonna respond to that and get back to what I was saying. How do I feel about the tax of German I don't care about no politicians. None. Nowhere. Now, there are some good ones. But in order to keep up the foyer, to keep up the game, you got to give people something. And see, these people are not beyond sacrifices. We'll get into that next week, talking about some of the sacrifices made, willing sacrifices, and what people have stated. Okay? I've been not too far from a person when he made a sacrifice. The Air Force guy that set himself on fire. Some people say it's MK Ultra. They can control your thoughts. I mean, y'all running around with them AirPods on, right? Thinking you're badass. I got AirPods. Thank goodness I got the ones that are toned way down, but they still mitigate and they can change. Frequencies, everything operates on frequency, even how you perceive, your perception on what you perceive, what you've looked at, what you've seen, and the message given to you. Do you know most time that when you're told something and you know it's an outright lie, what does it do? It does create this dystopia of confusion for a moment, doesn't it? This little dystopia that hits you off, wait, and you second guess. You know, it's like taking a test and you go back and you erase it, and then you check your own test in college and you realize that you had it right the first time. When you see something and it's way out of line and you're aware of it, right? See it for what it is. Some things are a big act or a big show. You know, in the military, if you were in the military, you know, not every personnel in the military do certain orange operations, red operations and stuff like that, red flag operations and orange flag operations and all that kind of stuff. You know? But there's a lot of things that are self-explanatory. It's right in your face. These platforms are mitigating to censor and shut people up. You see my last one, right? The video they took down, I actually recorded it. And I watched it over and over and over, and it shows that these people are they're full of excrement. I have no respect for those who I know I'm going to see somewhere down the road. Okay? I say that with authority. I don't say that with, I'm not guesstimating. I don't care about who believes without knowing shit. The reality is, everybody makes a choice. And if you want to play that game, because you think you're well trained, you got a little TRT, you're eating better than anybody else, and you done been on missions, You know, first of all, the life everybody's living ain't about some goddamn fake ass mission. The mission is only interpreted by those who create the fucking problem in the first place, to have a mission, to go out there and execute things, to keep the dumb motherfuckers running with their heads high up in their ass. And not in the air, but high up in their ass. That means your two legs are standing like this, and this is where your head's at. And so you see only what's permissible in the dialect of the lie you live. Now, that's the problem with most people. Now, I'm not here to be a truth teller and have everybody walking around, oh, look at him, what he's saying. No, what I'm saying is there's going to be some fucking balance. I'm not here for the majority of fucking people. I can care less. I'm dead ass serious. Because, see, the majority, I'm well aware, and I make it very, how do you say it? I say 10% because I'm attempting to be a little liberal, not liberal, but liberal in my giving. I actually believe it's 5%, but I say 10% will get it. The majority will run around in their little makeshift, made-up, fictional fucking world, playing their little roles, being the good minions and puppets, and getting to see some shit most people don't, as if they're better. All the shit I got to see, and some things I don't talk about because you'd be like, that I got to deal with, you haven't seen yet. Right? Look how long ago that was. And that was old shit. Now they got a world of pronouns and people fucked up and caught up, screwed up, jabbed up, whatever up. And they think they believe they know. They think they believe that they know. Isn't that a conundrum? How the fuck can you know something if you only believe? Or you think in the process of belief that you know as if it's supposed to be something factual when it's baseless because you actually don't know. That's why you have to fucking believe. This is mind-boggling, right? It's like a bad fucking vaudeville show. You know, you want to bring out your 6-shooter and start making them tap dance. Can you Michael Jackson, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? And this is the world we're in. But let me tell you something. I know people who have been in combat so many times in the last dumb fucking war. And they knew it was fucked up. They just didn't know how to pull out. I know some that have committed suicide. They felt like the ultimate betrayal. And they saw the ugly. And I know some that saw things, vehicles, motherfuckers armed with their shit, come off these vehicles and approach them. And they know that some of their people die by these motherfuckers in this fake-ass government, fake-ass Pentagon motherfucker, I hate saying that, told a lie to many families when their people were gunned down by fucking so-called fake-ass Americans who work underground, deep state. Whatever, if that's the term you motherfuckers like to use. I'm not going to get into the Kandahar giant and all that shit. Like I said, there's things you know nothing about, and there's those things of peace who don't want nothing to do with anything. But then you have those, I don't want to get into the spin of that crossing and all that other goofy shit. What I wanted to read to y'all, because of this, a lot of you normal martial artists, I got my little exercise on today. I felt magnificent, so I'm eating some vegetables and drinking one more. Tomorrow I won't be drinking this. I'll be drinking beet juice and tangerine and lemon. And I made my own little ginger tincture, which, ginger is strong, y'all. But I wanted to read this. And this is the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. Miyamoto Musashi. Stop it. I'll lick your shit off. All right? So this is the book. And a lot of you know I've been doing martial arts all my life. Matter of fact, I was outside just doing some Falun Gong Qigong, which is a form of martial arts. But I want you to hear the rhythm of martial arts, and then I'll make a statement. There's a rhythm to everything. You know what that rhythm is, right? We've expanded on that. But particularly in the martial arts, if you do not train in its rhythm, it is difficult to succeed. Now I can stop there. Listen. To indicate some of the rhythms in the world, there are those for the way of no drama. Not N-O, but N-O-H. No drama. When the rhythms of the musicians playing wind and stringed instruments, wind, right? String, right? Are coordinated, all right? They are coordinated. The entire rhythm is balanced. Now, some of the guys who visit with me and we ground, and when we do the first, whether chants, and sometimes when we go kram, and I know that it has to be a succession between 3 to 6. And if the people have some good tuning, in the third one, they will only hear one sound from multiple voices. But the first, second, you will always hear each other. What's happening is a channeling, a rhythmic balancing happening. Why is that? Well, there's a rhythm to everything. But particularly in the martial arts, it's a form of martial arts. Doesn't mean kicking and feet. You know, we're kicking with feet and hands, head butting and all that other stuff. That's not what martial arts is based upon frequency, vibration. That's what a rhythm is, right? Rhythm carries, right? Hits the wall, bounces back. That's the vibration, right? What's the vibration? It's based upon the frequency. So when you attune that frequency, what happens? You get this dialect, this language, which most people don't speak. My thing is to walk people slowly and get them harmonically bound. Like when I was telling you about what was going on, the fact that I woke up last night and I was like, my heart literally wasn't beating. I was like, nothing. I was breathing. And then it kicked on. What in the flying? And now I stood up, my hairs, ends. I stood up on the edge of the bed. I wasn't dizzy or faint. My feet felt a little heavy. I looked down. Wasn't angina. What in the fuck is going on? Anyway, right? No drama. That means the wind and the string, right? What's this? Isn't that the strings? Those little chords? Or in coordination. Just because you spew and speak, just because you think you can sing, or you know you can, doesn't mean that it is harmonically balanced. Right? And right now, everything we do is intuitive. That means that we've been conditioned. But balance is an exercise. Martial art. It's a practice. A rhythmic beat. It's 1,000 kicks. So that one time you kick, you have perfected that kick to your standings. Doesn't mean it's the best or the greatest. Every orchestra is not the greatest or the best. Every country song isn't the greatest or the best. There's a liking for everything. That's why I say 10%. Based upon the rhythm that is given or delivered and how it's received or recepted. The entire rhythm is balanced in the military arts. There is a rhythm and timing in the release of the bow. There is. For those, how many of you have actually took a bow and took a few months not to send the arc or the bow, but just to pull, the arrow, whatever you want to call it. I call it the lead. But how many of you ever just take the bow and practice getting that right pull where it's just perfect? Not everybody could pull a 75-pound test. Not everybody could pull a 65. Some people have an arduous time pulling a 55. I like pulling the 600 pound. It's just me. But when you practice, do you know what it's like to hold it? And you don't have no leathers. You might have a clamp, or you might have a little leather for your fingers and hold on the bottom of the. Some of you don't know about this. Some people just like to get in between it. That's where you get a mess up and you flip the arrow and it does, you know. But a lot of people, when they get on it, how many of you actually sit there and don't give yourself a shave? How many of you know exactly what you're doing? And turning. How many of you actually practice that? And first, you feel like this. For those who make it past 7 days, then you're stuck. You're sore. You're attempting to hold it for a minute. I always started with 30 seconds. Then I got up to holding it for 4 and 5 minutes. And after 3 months, then I was, hey, you ready to go to Japan if you want to see what I'm talking about? There's a rhythm. And the rhythm isn't always in release. The rhythm is learning how to draw, how to ease the pressure. And it's almost like you hear it, you feel it. And you've got tendonitis on your elbow. It goes away when you start realizing that you're using more of the small twitch fibers in your muscles. And when you're holding it, when you were shaking that time, because you wasn't breathing, you was holding your breath. You know, whenever you're behind a rifle and a scope and you're popping out over at least 700-800 yards, you take a deep breath. It's calming, right? Now imagine practicing that for 3 months to several years before ever putting an arrow in the bow. That's why martial arts is considered a military tactic of seeking to better the harmony, the frequency, the balance. Anyway, the military rifle, and even in mounting a horse. How many people you know can run beside a horse and pop up over, and then sit up on it and turn around and all that? Y'all be broken neck and they be trampled by the horse and everything. That's training. That's a rhythmic thing, like BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When I was learning that, I was always thinking strength, flexibility, and man, I was getting choked out every time. I was like, what the? And then I thought wrestling, like I'm good at wrestling. No, there's patience, there's breathing, there's calm, there's an aptitude other than the inaptitude that you first go in and get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get to the point when you want to get that brown belt and you want to do that depth, you know, when you run to 20 men or 100, depending on where you're training at, and you get jacked up, broken fingers and stuff. But what do you accomplish? More awareness. What is more awareness? More rhythm. It's frequency, y'all. You cannot ignore rhythm in any of the arts of accomplishments. Even math has a rhythm. Religion has a rhythm. How you think has a rhythm, as broken as it is. But not everybody practices to be appropriate in how they think, because you believe you're thinking as if you know. When you look at the first part of it, this is what the enemy does. They know exactly what they're doing because they practice it over and over, you know, a million kicks. Now, it doesn't mean that all their contractors who are part of the vice of the rhythm on the music note chart, but that low-hanging, broken shit, they'll send them out there because that's cannon fodder, and a lot of times they accomplish the job. Look at Haiti when they killed the president there, right? Those dumbasses out of Colombia with those goofy Negroes, right? To me, they're all niggas. But anyway, right? The issue at hand is, where's the frequency? Where's the balance? Where's the harmony? Sad thing, even in doing bad things, you can practice and actually have a harmonic balance, a higher frequency that you operate at. So I'm not here talking about good and bad, but for your sake, all right? For your sake, when I say ascend, we're not in a deep study room on some island somewhere where you got 6 years to be there eating the best food, drinking the best water, nobody spraying shit on you, and you're learning to remote view and all this other shit like they've been doing. No, you're going to have to kick it in gear, and you're going to have to raise your fucking awareness, regardless of the few that might snap into it right off the bat, have total recall and shit. No, the majority of you are really going to have to bind down and tie in and realize the important work that is required. And it is a little too fucking late, but never too late. You get where I'm coming from. Everything has an order. Even disorder has an order, because it wouldn't be disorder if it didn't have an order. Didn't say anything about it being whether it's good or bad. Disorder has an order. It's fucked up. It's calculated, but it's there. It's established. Therefore, there's a frequency there. Otherwise, 440 and 808 wouldn't exist. And all the other diatribes that are bad, when mitigated together, give you this this harmonic thing that causes heart palpitations, causes bad eye vision, causes your teeth not to regenerate, causes your joints to hurt. You dig it? You can do anything. The moment you have an issue, right? I have sore joints and this, that. I know stinging. I know stinging. What's that stinging? The nettle, whatever tea and all that kind of stuff. I know that those things can help. But then there are those moments when I think, and I don't think heal. That was enough on that. It was about harmony. And I wanted to show you that everything is a form of martial arts. Everything is not about and all that goofy shit. So we know that heal there's many different types of heals, right? Heal, the verb, encompasses the process of becoming healthy again. That's what they say. Applicable to both physical and emotional states. On the other hand, heal, well, first one's H-E-A-L. Heal, H-W-E-L, is a noun. It's funny how one's a verb and a noun, and the other one's a noun. Refers to the rear part of the foot because it's a name. Label a particular part of the body. So heal is an action. That's why it's a verb, right? Heal, which should be a verb too because it moves, right? But because we're talking about a place, right? So now, refers to the rear part of the foot or the part of the shoe under the foot's heel. We get into this thing where we have been conditioned to believe that we have to say heal. Heal. Now, I say that when people are going through something to heal up quick, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to yourself, should you say to yourself, heal? Absolutely. But what should you be doing more than that? You should be processing the thought on that particular part to mitigate change. Not steeped in fear. Because when it's time, it's time. Most of you don't have a focal point in the direction, unfortunately. So I'm tempted to get y'all there. The big mistake with these idiots, they really don't know shit. I don't give a fuck about no 53 miles of information in the Vatican. So the fuck what? I can't say nothing else. But anyway, right? If you only knew, you would come to a deeper understanding of what you're capable of. In science, they say by the cerebellum, if you can bypass certain things in the Christ factor, that if you could communicate, but your frontal lobe really has to be open. And how do you accomplish that? Well, first of all, not by straining, not by stress, and not by bad frequencies, which these are blockers, inhibitors. They don't inhibit. These are not inhibitors. These are inhibitors that block, not inhibitors for benefit. Calcified pineal gland and all that stuff. Well, people want to change their diets. Well, what's the first thing? Because they knew this was going to happen. This is who they are. They knew that they would have to change the dynamics of all the food and everything else that you partake of to keep you consistent. They wouldn't have been fluoridating the water and everything, having you brush with toothpaste with fluoride. And some people still do it and say, my teeth are fine when it's far from it. I say, bite into a piece of ice. I take ice and I bite it with my front teeth, my side teeth. And I don't need ice cream no more, but I take a whole scoop of ice cream and hold it on my teeth and run them down. And people be going, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because I accepted the reality of the truth and I changed the narrative so I would not be deplorative to self. So when an issue comes, I don't get frightened. First thing I go is, what is going on? And then I go, who the fuck? And then I start searching. Then I pull back because I say, oh, I need this little bit of energy. It's no such thing as little energy. Spark. They say the atom bomb is powerful. And here you are composed of trillions of atoms. But they need you to be hindered useless. That's why I say start making choices and stop being choiceless. You have to make the hard choices. You think I just woke up one day and I came after all that stuff and said, okay, well, I told you I didn't want to tell you shit. All they had to do was listen, but these motherfuckers are dumb. They're all dumb. Motherfuckers think they're indigenous to this land because they've been lied to by their great-grandparents who passed down bullshit from the 1800s, the late 18 and early 1900s. The motherfuckers ain't that old. And then you have those of us who know it because our family was there assisting based on not, having to fight and kill nobody no more. I got no more killers in my family. And you got motherfuckers walking around that think they men and they women and they don't know really what's going on. And then they stand strong because they got a lot of idiots they pay attention to. That's what the operators do, to keep confusion going. They're paid to do that. Some of them are just low motherfuckers who ain't nothing. And the people up top who are making sure they got a wage, they don't give a fuck about them, whether they fail or succeed. But there are people who are so stupid that they'll take the task as if they're doing something based on a fake-ass belief with no truth in knowing. It's like these goddamn fact checkers are the dumbest sons of bitches I've ever seen. I have a list that I'm going to go over maybe next week, maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll look at it. I'll break out all the fact checks that have been debunked. And then I'll show you some pictures of some new fact checkers. It's why they keep finding them from these foreign motherfuckers. And then some of them, you'll be able to tell exactly who they are. And then motherfuckers think growing long hair and a beard hides who the fuck they is. This is the hypocrisy. You remember we were growing beards, right? And a lot of us have got no shave shits in the military because we weren't supposed to be shaving and shit. And these motherfuckers were the most hateful things. Then all of a sudden, we got the war on terror. We're going to an Arab country. That's not some bullshit. We're going to murder some people. And we got people motherfuckers getting trained and they got to grow a beard. Now they come home and they think they're the hot shit growing beards. When their parents, nobody fucking wore beards. ZZ Top bullshit. But our people always wore beards in the ladder of life. Or they didn't. It didn't mean shit one way or the other unless you were wisdom. So they just shit on that with these motherfuckers that have no wisdom at all. Just warlike motherfuckers who don't know history, don't know no truth. All they know is what the fuck they did, and that's the great thing because of Hollywood, by the fake Jews created the narrative, and motherfuckers walking around holding on to a lie of history, and then you're supposed to rebuttal that? Man, that's another form of martial arts. You got to raise your frequency. Fuck them. Let them be where they at. So what, motherfucker? You'll find out in the end, dumbass, and then you'll be brought back, and you'll probably come back like one of us. Stupid motherfucker. But they'll be shielded again, and they'll be hidden from them. They won't have no remembrance. Won't be nobody there to nurture them and catch them. We got you, baby. Yeah, this is who you was. Because everybody around them be dumb, just like the ones now are dumb. What message is that? It's helpful review. For next week, then. All right, cool. You're planning on dropping that a lot? Yes, I will. I might just do a video too. And the thing is, you're already perfect. You have to tweak yourself. You have to tweak on a few things. You have to work on some things, brothers and sisters. I'm not in the crayon colors. People out here, they know, yeah, red, he's Indian and white. And they don't deny, they don't doubt. They don't get caught up in the fallacies of this fake world. All right? I don't care about those who are running around with a fake identity. I don't mind correcting them, and they don't have to accept it. I don't care. I'm not fractured by the emotions and the feelings that are stirred by it. Simple conversation is simple conversation if it's meaningful. And if it ain't meaningful, I don't give a flying fuck. I had somebody earlier say, because they heard me go, "You German and Indian? What do you mean Indian? Original Indian or the Hindustans that became Indian around 19 what? 50 what? 4? Yeah, that's when they became Indians. Before that, they were always just Hindus, Gujars, Bangladeshi, from Bangladesh, this, that, and other." And they go, "Well, how you know all that?" And I says, I could retort and say, "How do you not know it?" But I'm very aware of the education system here that makes people dumb and ignorant as fuck without them knowing it. But it makes them very emotional based on the food staple and all the chemicals. Right now, how many of y'all buy that ice cream? It's called, what is it called? It's the cone with the chocolate and the white little, what is that called? What is that ice cream called? Huh? What is that ice cream? Well, anyway, are you aware that's not even ice cream? Every bit of it is chemicals. And everybody's eating it because it's in the freezer and it's cold and it tastes like chocolate and it tastes like vanilla and it drumsticks. Read the ingredients on the side. Ice cream sandwich. Ben & Jerry claims that their shit is all natural. Read the fucking list. Just read it. What was that? I have a question for you. All right, I'm not into answering a whole lot of stuff, but I'll reply to this one. What wisdom would you tell your younger self? I don't have to tell him nothing. He knew most of the things I'm talking about now. Maybe you should go back and watch some of my videos where I talk about my life. I'm not here to do that at this moment. Maybe someday I'll strike upon it. This so-called my life. All our lives are entwined, but most people have no idea about the lives they've had. Not at all. Somebody says, "Do you believe in reincarnation?" Why the fuck would I do that? That means I don't know nothing. I know that your ass can end up back here in a different time period with shit looking different. Now, can you go backwards or forwards? I don't know. No. But I am aware anyone can have recall. When they made the movie Total Recall, that was to be dismissive of what you're capable of. And when you have recall, you'll see things that you will think are dreams. They took truth and turned it into myth. They took lies and made them into truth. The George Orwellian factor, the Mark Twainism is all live and kicking. But nobody wants to be responsible of that because they have least of knowledge of themselves. I don't know what God are you talking about? What can you do better right now? Why don't you ask yourself that? Go in the mirror, make eye-to-eye contact with yourself, get through the fear of that, and ask yourself right now. Because see, when people speak God, that means they don't know the religion they're talking about. They're not studied up in it. They're not affluent in it. I'm very affluent in it. All these religions. I made it my business, some have watched me, to study them, to speak about them. And people profess to discern, and they don't discern nothing. And I can say certain groups on large scales and other ones are very minimal. Ask yourself that question. See, this is another proponent of this system of education, a retort of foolishness, with foolish games. Everybody wants to ask somebody something instead of just listening, and never ask themselves to go further into that place and find that balance and that harmony that could free up some stuff. Within you, there are a whole lot of answers. But because you don't know how to go and seek yourself out, because we always say, like I stated in the beginning, we're so comfortable living in this line, this perversion, we have a very hard time acquiescing our very essence of existence. It has been lied about, trashed upon, sacked upon. It's like that quarterback that never even gets the handoff because his ass gets knocked out every time. So they never move downfield, but they keep moving back and kickball return. You know what I mean? You gotta ask yourself that. Because I don't know what dying is. As I stated, Hollywood has painted the narrative of death. And then what you see around you has engrossed you with a gross narrative of death. As if it's the last thing. And then a false narrative of liars who claim to be and profess to be something they're not have inundated and indoctrinated people with something that, if I was the creator of all these things, I'm using a hypothetical, not saying I am or I am. If I was the creator of all these things, you think I want you, if you can't remember who I am because you've been plagiarized and fucked over and messed with, and you can't see that to deal with that first, why do you think I'll tell you what I am or who I am? First of all, I broke God down on my other channel. I went through all the information out here to show you that God has no place, because the God that you speak of has no name that you know of and has no existence or title based on the world that you live in. Why the fuck would it want to fuck with you or anybody else when it gave you everything you need? Because you are fallible and broken? Because you're against your own brethren? This is where you don't want to walk, bruh. I appreciate you. But go back and watch some of my videos. Some of them will stare you. And if you're emotionally unstable, and if you're deep in some feelings, it'll drive you up a wall. There's no answer for such a question, beloved. There's no such thing as the fucking devil. You're your own devil. Yes. There is darkness and there is light. And in the darkness there was always light. And with the light, you don't have to conceptualize or perceive what darkness is. People need to learn how to walk beside each other. Right now, all they're being grafted into is to see each other, shoot each other, blow each other up. Now the new thing is drop drones on each other, which ain't new. And this so-called kill, kill, kill to keep that hyper-intensive relationship or narrative of a perversion alive, to which eludes death. Make it make sense. Walk upright. Don't we do that? But in religion, they would say walk upright as if meaning it to be righteous, when righteous is a fictional narrative in itself. How about establishing order, or reasserting yourself back in order, and having the basic commonality that you're not a pushover, that you don't have to flaunt being dangerous, but you seek order in your life, where the majority of people around you know not what order is, because the disarray and disorder is the national doctrine. Does anyone know what it's like to be wild and free? Well, first of all, when you say wild, you think a beast or an animal. Well, don't the military get dog tags? Don't kid mean a goat? Don't a boy mean... They saying up pronouns, man and woman don't exist? Well, where's the masculine and feminine? Because of perversions? Where's the order? Because nobody wants order, because they don't know what the fuck order is. They've established themselves to think they're smart, talking flippy-floppy, fast, big words, and meaningless shit, instead of being responsibly responsive and actually adhering to the sounds and the frequencies around them, because they don't know how to acquiesce those things, access them. Well, I'm here to change that for a few fucking people. Not everybody. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about the majority. No, that's what they say in the book, and the very ones that wrote it are the ones out there molesting children, cannibalism, adrenochrome, creating wars. Like, make it make sense. Find order, seek, and be that. Distill yourself, for ye are gods. Lowercase. For if ye have the faith the size of a grain of mustard seed, and yet you're made of trillions of atoms, that they're always working the fuck over? Because you can't see, because they're the ones keeping you blind, so therefore you must look everywhere else, and it be at your brothers and sisters who mean you no harm, therefore you become the harmer? And therefore you look into the mirror and gaze upon the water and you harm yourself? This is the world they've created, and they're giving you false instructions and narratives in to keep you blind, so you become a mishap, reusable, throwaway. You're still using terms that are meaningless. And I know it's hard to come out of it. I'm not trying to tell you to go be evil. I'm not saying, oh, turn around and be dismissive of creation itself. I'm not saying there is nothing greater. You don't need to worry about that because you don't even know who the fuck you are. As above, as below. There is no so anything. That is the convulsion of the misuse, misappropriation, and misdirection and redirection. I can do this all night. I'm not your sir. What's your purpose? It's not a question with a question. What is your purpose? My purpose is here, looking for a few, not the many. What is your purpose? Are you conflagratory? Appreciate it. As I can read and comprehend you all day. Do you see where self-immobilization and interference can lead to? I'm not downing on you. I'm pointing these things out because all should really pay attention to this. It's sad that everybody wants to be a leader, and there's no such thing. It's very disturbing, not to me. I listen to people all the time. Anyone here that knows me can tell you, oh man, he be chatting and he knows it. But I listen to people all the time. Especially during the summertime when the guys who are drunk and the Navajos who are veterans, I want to get them into the VA. And I got the cards and everything and the tags and everything with the numbers, crisis numbers, and I call people and friends of the police force, I call and say, look, so-and-so's here is a veteran. Can you get him to, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think right now he's sound enough to get there, but I think he probably needs to go to the hospital. And I take bag lunches of fruits and water, you know, and I make sure that they have this. And they're like, yo, Red. I'm like, yo, bro, I know that you don't have that liter of vodka. You're going to die in 2 days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you the best vodka. But at the same time, I'm going to drop you off at the hospital. I'm going to let Dr. this one know, Leonard, or this one know. And yes, it's on you. Eat the food, drink the water before I do anything. And they listen to me. There's no hate. I can't graft in or out. Everyone has a choice. I'm not here to stop no one from making any choice, but if I can redirect a few to make a better choice, I'm not here no savior. I'm no savior. I'm here to debunk all the falsitudes, the narratives, the lies, the manifestation, and change what needs to be changed at my level. Okay? And play the game. Tutti frutti, home Rudy. Tutti frutti, home, woo. Tutti frutti, home. You get where I'm coming from? Ring around the posy. See, nobody really wants to access the reality of the system and the truths and the lies they live. You know, when I went to Edinburgh, Scotland in 87, and I was 20-something years old, and I got to meet this 90-year-old Masonic one. It's 87 and it's 85. Not only my uncle, who was a 33rd degree, who says never get involved in this shit. He had to read the satanic verses. When I was in the UK, when I went to study martial arts under one of the third great grandson of a Shaolin monk, his province of Kung Fu, and they used to ask me, everybody, go over here, stay back, your conversation, I want to share some things. So all that was meant for me. I can't share all that with you. What I can do is have you walk beside me. And most people fear the unknown. Well, I don't know you. I don't fear shit. You got bad ill intentions. I know it. I'll smell it. Smell you a mile away. Not everything is what you think it is. Not everything that you see is what you see. Not everything you hear is what's being heard. This is not a riddle. Your lie of a life is a riddle. That's something that must be figured out, but only by you. I and I, do you know what that means? For ye are gods. The creator of creation does not use that term. That is from something else. And they're here too, and they watch. Don't get caught up with them. They're not good. At least the majority of them aren't. They really aren't good. Anyway, I wanted to come on and share that about rhythm, harmony, frequency. There's brothers who came to me, and they may have attempted it with other people, which is a beautiful thing. And they grounded with me. And we did. It's not like we're doing it every day, which would be a magnificent thing, because the fine tuning, like a harp, a harmonica, a harp. I love playing the harp. And when you get it just right, and you're not cutting your mouth and and you get that right, and you realize where the key is, and it's like a piano, and you think you're playing a clarinet, and then you hear the sound, the frequencies, and you feel the hair stand up, not understanding what's really going on, and you have this healing, and your eyes see a little better. Your prostate shrinks a little better. It's like when I take this. Everybody's always talking about a flute, and they go, James, why do you have a three-hole flute? Why not? What I do is long drawings. I play, actually. I have a little chart where I actually play tunes, but I'm not going to huff and puff and play. These right here. You hear that little, what is that? Is that misconsonance? No, this is what it is. Then people get into that, oh, what's the next? It's not about the next. Did you hear that at all? Most people will not allow themselves to hear the subtleness and the calming. They won't allow it. Why? Because it's intrusive. It feels new. You're not in school learning how to do the proper push-up because they give you PE. You're not in music class because everybody has a choice to go or not. So you don't get it. You get the PA. You get this fractured 440 thing. And you're going to eat a diet that is killing you, making you age, but not learn. When I feel some kind of way, and that feeling's intrusive, I play one note. Now it sounds very demeaning and breaking, but it isn't. It is a refocus. And then when I have a little cantor, I go ahead and allow it a little higher. And I allow it to go on as long as I can. And then it's always from the diaphragm, never from here. They're beating up on this. Chemicals and everything. 5G, 6, 7, 8G, hidden stuff, secret, silent weapons for secret wars, or secret weapons for silent wars. You change the narrative. You have all these companies pushing this stuff. I use this on my feet. Oh, get black seed oil. Get black seed oil. And the first thing you realize, if you study about black seed oil, why is there an omega-6 in there, which is bad and creates plaque in your arteries? As long as this keeps y'all from the bar, getting drunk and getting high, I'll do this for as long as possible. So, the black seed oil contains omega-6 fatty acids because it's extracted from Nigella sativa seeds. Right? Black seed oil contains about 2% eicosanoic acid, a polyunsaturated fatty acid, PUFA. Polyunsaturated fatty acid, that's what PUFA is, the acronym. That's part of the omega-6 family. It also contains linoleic acid, another omega-6 fatty acid. So, so this is what they state about it. Black seed oil contains healthy fatty acids, including linoleic and oleic acids that may offer health benefits. May. Well, however, some say that foods high in omega-6, like black seed oil, should be eaten in moderation or avoided. Now, let's go back to this, and we're going to pull it up. This is where it's important to be able to study things. See, we will stop there and be like, oh, that's good. Sativa seeds aren't really the greatest, but that's another narrative, okay? So we pull this up. Let me get it. Okay. No. Here we go. So, it states, eicosanoic acid, if I'm pronouncing it right, or EPA, for those who don't know. Yes, EPA, is an N3 polyunsaturated fatty acid that is generally safe for most people when taken in appropriate amounts. So, what do we know about polyunsaturated fatty acids? Well, they'll have you believe polyunsaturated fats include omega-3 and omega-6 fats. These are essential fatty acids. So we know that omega-3 is good in 9, right? But then when we go back, what do we miss? Hold on, where's it at? All right, let me go back, right here. Is linoleic acid. Now, they say these things are all supposed to be good for you, right? Now, they say the FDA doesn't regulate it. All right, but linoleic acids are in eggs, safflower oil, which is no good for you. Safflower seeds, do not partake in. Pine nuts, are they leached? Soybean oil, no fucking good. Sunflower oil, corn oil, Now they're in pecans. Should men be eating pecans? They say no more, and that's why I say leave them pecan pies alone, no more than half or quarter a cup, people. That's like 6 fucking pecans. But we'll sit there on fake holidays and we'll be having the bags of nuts, and some of us find the pecans to be the most famous. Some of you go buying pecan peanut butter. And do you know what you're doing yourself? You're overburdening your system. You're fucking with your liver. In your gut, there's a certain what you call in there that's for gut health. What does omega-6 do? It destroys that. You get leaky gut and all that stuff because there is no parameter of how much you should take or not. It's just there. Black seed oil, when I take this, I use it on my skin. I'm not supposed to take no more than 1 tablespoon. And usually that's in a 2 to 3 day period. But what are people doing? The system is not here to benefit or help you because they will never tell you that. And most people don't know how to research all that information. They won't do it. But somebody will go and sell it to you and say, oh, just take 1 teaspoon or tablespoon. They won't say how many times a week or if you should just do it for 4 or 5 days. Just like most of these medicines, these companies with medicine. They get you on and get you hooked because it's not really a natural, it's not for healing. It's called medicine. It's not called for healing. But most people won't study to know how to use these things. And then you'll have to flush your system. Because fat omega-6 builds plaque. These are the little things. Now imagine all the bigger things. You know? They put the ingredients on labels. When most of our people used to make the stuff. I remember my grandmother used to make ice cream. Salt, snow, a little real vanilla extract that she cold pressed from the vanilla beans she grew on the side of the, well, from the side of the house. We had a big old thing of vanilla. We used to go out there and collect them things, and she'd take them in there, look like licorice, and she just put it in that heavy still and just get all that oil out. Oh man, this is a whole bunch of them. She had like 5. That's what we used to watch her do, and make that little thing of real vanilla extract. Cold press. 1 time. And she would make the ice cream, and then she would put cane sugar. So the ice cream wasn't really super sweet, but man, was it the best ice cream ever. And then she would put little broken, we didn't eat them cashews. You know cashews are fake. And y'all ever watched them make cashews? How many of y'all ever seen a cashew nutshell? But yet, planters and them will feed you that crap when that was never a nut that I grew up eating. Brazil nuts, macadamias, and peanuts. That's what I grew up eating. And every once in a while, a nigger toe, a pecan. But we couldn't eat a whole bunch. We ate lard, animal fat. We ate meat. We ate vegetables. Fruits was every once in a while. We want fat. We want underwear. Everybody was going over 90, 100. But then here come these fake ass Jews with their agenda, slow, stealing our land. It's funny, up until 1942, we had 42 million acres of land. Who were the growers here? Was it 42 million? Was it how many acres was it? 4 million something? I forget acres. We had most of the farmlands. Cultivators are the ones showing everybody how to do everything. If that wasn't the truth, then my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-granduncles were liars. And they weren't no liars. My father, whenever he visited me, if he wasn't carrying a stick, he was always sharing information passed down to him. And so I always looked at everybody differently. I used to get in trouble in school fighting the teachers. History teachers were lying. Nobody was telling the truth. And they made us take sex education. I was fighting the teacher in there saying, what you trying to teach me? Yeah, no such thing as black folks, brother. That's disrespectful. It's a very bad word. It's saying dead folk. And that's the truth. No such thing. Never existed. That's another fallacy created by Franz Boas. A lie. The Racial Integrity Act. Our people in the 40s and 50s would kill you for calling them black. And anybody by me on a reservation never called me that, because they know I was Indian and fictional status of white. And if they did, I'd knock them out. It's the truth. I got a whole thousands of people here to tell you that. We never use that stuff. That's the education system. That's the fake Gujars, these fake ass Jews. These are the ones that created that, created division amongst the people. Got everybody running around all confused and conflicted. I don't call nobody no color. I call you based upon what you know. No such things. There's just different shades of melanation. There's light skin all the way to very dark skin. It's only relevant if you make it relevant, right? Somebody called you racist? Ain't nobody call you, don't use terms in here, brother. That's emotions and feelings. We're not driven by those. We don't care about feelings and emotions. I don't get into the terms of races. Anyway, races are the dumbest people walking the planet. So I would figure that if you hung around this long, you're not dumb. So, I mean, I don't use those terms. They're kind of weak, a misdirect, a fallacy, a construct based on ignorance. I don't think you could talk about what I talk about and then go to the sumps of the New World Order's narrative. It's meaningless. And be mindful when you say Spanish. Are you from Spain? Are they? See, we have to change the narrative because everything that is a misdirect. It's a reinvention. It has no meaning. You're either a man or you're not. You're either a woman or you're not. You know what I mean? Very simple things. But never do what certain individuals do. Never unaccommodate yourself by putting words in a position that haven't been utilized or mentioned. When you're the only one mentioning it, it's a tell. Well, yeah, everybody has a choice. Appreciate it. It matters to me. It matters to me not either way, beloved. I guess people have a hard time seeing that sometimes. But anyway, yeah, the construct of race. Do you know when it was created? It started with the first 3 races, and then it went on to the 5 races. And it's all a lie. But it was used to paint a different picture. But one thing the fake Jews did, and they were careful of, when they were tampering with our ancient stories, and they took King James after they murdered him and created the new narrative to bring it back here and speak it in Algonquin. They said Ham, the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. Do you know why? Because the Negro is from Shem, and his relations were different shades of brown. But Japhet was very jealous and ardently hateful. He wanted to play in the world of things not meant to be played with. And in order to defeat the other 2 brothers, the younger and the elder, they had to find a way to devise a way to separate and destroy them. And even Shem, the house of Shem, they had to divide them as well. By the narrative, you know. No, it doesn't matter. We all can live as long as each other, literally. Everyone here should be living at least 2,000-3,000 years easily. But it's not the case. I remember my great-granduncles told me they knew people over 200-300 years old. And I was like, well, that means like in the 16 to 15, well, the 5th and the 600s. You know they added 1,000 years. But they were like, they used to look at us like we were stupid. Like, they don't know that? Because see, every war and every time people pass away is a narrative written by the enemy, who's the fictional victory by way of what they write. It's funny how we created the print machines and we own all the newspapers, and all of a sudden we don't. And the first thing they do when they get it is use it for propaganda to mitigate. You know, on the caucus hearings in 1974, where I sat down and watched how the CIA was talking about they were watching people through the TV and how they were utilizing the media to control the narrative. It's messed up, ain't it? Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's right. Yeah, yeah. I don't get into none of that. That's obvious. But the thing is, what I'm stating here, I don't want you to nobody get confused. The enemy is right there. And sometimes people work for the enemy, and they do so because they're comfortable doing so. You know, narcissism and sociopaths, well, sadly, they're a real thing. Now, I'm not disturbed or saddened by it. There's a part of me that, I'm going to leave that part alone, though, that loves it. Yeah, there's no such thing as black folks, brother. You okay? I'm going to ask you if you're drinking or smoking, bro. Yeah, there's no black folks, man. I know it's hard for you to accept that, but there's no such thing. First of all, when I can find somebody that can tell me what their people invented and what they were successful at, because I don't like to draw upon that. What's their culture? And I don't want to hear some goofy dancing and certain food, which is bullshit. I like to hear people talk some real shit. Because, see, I'm a historian. When it comes to what we built here, what we did here, and I already asked you, we're not black here. Unless you just feel gullibly sensational that you have to use those terms. There's no such thing as racist, brother. There are things moving around in the mist, but there's no such thing as racist. Now, I'm not going to keep repeating myself if you don't get it. Now, that's when you're at. Then I'll just finish on talking what I'm talking about. I like to entertain some people when they're talking as if they're actually getting it. But like I said, I say 10%, but I know 5%. And that is what it is. But anyway, back to the thing of rhythm and harmony and balance and those things that actually manifest and mean something. If you don't allow yourself to step into your frequency, into your harmony, to your resonance of truth, then you stay in this area that's called absurdity. You stay in this dark place. We call this no. It's funny how people like to believe in the narrative of a world created by an enemy of all, and they hold on to it as if it's their last dying, welling wish, instead of letting go of it and moving on to a better place. It's funny how people don't know the truth of the existence of those who've created damn near everything. Hey, isn't it funny how everybody found out the person that created the real internet was a brother? The cell phone, the blimp, the helicopter, the rotary engine, the mobile, the first automobile, the light, the elevator, the freight elevator, the air conditioner, the refrigerator, the thermostat. Do I need a spark plug, two-stroke motor? We invented every damn thing. The thing that take people up the stairs who are crippled, GPS, the mathematics to the moon, they turned around and lied about, a woman, peanuts, what we showed them how to do with wool, the cotton gin. Everything. Original whiskey, country music, jazz, punk rock, metal, hip hop. Do I need to go on? Those are the few things. I don't even want to get into the books that I have. So when people talk about culture, it's funny how everybody's living our culture, but they allow the enemy's narrative of fake Hollywood and a bunch of dumb folk to run around and fake ass education system to make themselves believe that's something that makes them better when they ain't shit. I always say, sit your ass still and learn something and be fucking silent for once, and then maybe you'll come around. Cause we can stop all the dumb shit, and we made the first machine gun. They tried to lie about that and give it to Maxim. He didn't invent shit. He just copied what we made. Invented the bicycle, the goddamn monorail, the toilet that y'all flush your shit and piss in. Hell, out of how many fruits and vegetables come from here and have been dispersed all around the fucking world? Now we don't even grow this shit no more because they're perverting it. But everybody wants to talk about us. We rebuilt the goddamn thing after the fake Civil War. We rebuilt the Capitol, everything. Repaired the fucking roads because all the monkeys that came out the boat couldn't do it. But they were saying, oh, as they were destroying our old grand cities and changing the map and face to face and everything, they were talking about, hey, look at what we did when they ain't do shit. We started every goddamn thing. Country, hip hop. R&B, blues. Hockey, basketball, fucking baseball. There's a ton of books on everything that we created and invented. It's funny how they tried to hide it for so long. We built this country up, and that's when they were talking about people in teepees. We were laughing our asses off. Who the fuck was living in some goddamn yurt and teepee here? We didn't have that shit here. We had great buildings and cities all throughout this motherfucker. Monuments, statues, all kind of shit. And all they did was come and destroy it. And then they want the land. And they want to teach everybody a new lie. I said the benefit of having elders teach you when you're being nurtured and reared in a different way from everybody else was the benefit that I was afforded. Like I said, the world's culture is our culture. Bottom line, everybody spoke many different languages. Everybody got along just fucking fine. Without ignorance or nothing. Without emotions and feelings. Because it was steeped in natural order. There was just facts. There weren't no lies to have to contend with. Now we have a whole bunch of lies to contend with. I don't waste my time. I'm like, okay, that's what you believe. I don't give a fuck. That means you don't know nothing, but you believe it. Stay structured right there. I don't care. I'll see you in the end. To those. But there's always those who think they're real smart and they don't know shit. The system made sure of that. So that way they could see those of us who actually know. Like they're going to make some kind of fucking difference or change. Not you, but... You dig? Just like they tried to make it like we didn't grow rice here. We grew rice all over this place. Ginger. Everything. We healed nations. We took care of one another. Everything was free with us. And the first thing these bastards did was come up and set some fake ass government up. Sit there looking like fucking retards. And then started whitewashing our history. To make some fake ass white superiority when those motherfuckers aren't superior to nothing. And they're not white. They're light skinned. Know what I mean? Anyway, let me get off of here. I'm gonna finish eating these vegetables. Drink a little bit of beet juice and lemon. Do a little meditation. I hope you guys don't go out and party and drink and all that nonsense. You don't need to entice spirits. You don't need to put nothing in your lungs. You're at the time where the enemy's using all that to their advantage. Let it go. If you're going to have a steak, goddamn, if you can't slaughter yourself and you ain't free raising, great. It ain't free roaming and grazing. Be mindful. Don't get that shit from a Walmart. Stay away from fucking Kroger's. But if you want to get your tomahawk, put it on the open fire. Hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper and enjoy the fuck out of it. Stay away from the goddamn garbage ass ice creams. Stay away from all the fake ass chocolate. If it don't say at least 85% and higher and it's cacao, stay away from it because you know that shit's got real caffeine in it. Stay away from coffee because it's shit. Listen to me, y'all. Stop eating that garbage ass cereal talking about it's sweet and that's what you grew up on. That's why your ass ain't gonna make it to motherfucking 40 or 50. God damn it, eat one meal a day sometimes. Take a day off from eating. If you cramp too bad, there's an underlying ailment going on. You need to clean your liver and your kidneys. You need to flush some shit. You probably need to take a good shit. Get your prune juice and drink the whole motherfucker down. Eat some goddamn raisins. Get some collard greens and some turnip greens. Shut the fuck up. Stop eating potatoes and white rice. And I love my white rice. But stop eating potatoes, white rice, and white bread and all that garbage that's empty. And that should speak volumes. And eat some shit with some color in it. Get some chlorophyll. Sit your ass down in that toilet. Learn how to breathe until that shit come out. Practice some Japanese stuff. Clear your mind because the shit starts from the from the tutor to the rooter. Let that motherfucker go. Free your mind, your ass will follow. Allow yourself to become specific in the details of your existence. And always pay attention to everything around you, because everything ain't what it seems. All right? A lot of deer is good. Good, never drink off, good. Charles, what's going on, beloved? Who's all up in here? I got pork strips too. Good. Yeah, stay away from, and you know, I always say, I know how to make cheese. I always say, butter. We used to churn our own butter. We never had no heart attacks, none of that shit. This is chemicals. Everything that's going on is related to these goddamn synthetics and these chemicals. Why would somebody put synthetics in something natural? Andy Real up in the house. What's going on, beloved? DJ, I got you, family. What's going on? Delusions, Power Strokes too. I got you, beloved. T. Hans, yeah, you already know. I want to shout some people out. Not like the other channel, but people are coming over. There are those who signed on before and see me. I appreciate you. Welcome to the tribe, everybody. All right. Oh, yeah, Omek, I got you, beloved. Snoo, my baby girl. I hope she ain't sleep. You sleep, baby? CYX, I got you. I got you, beloved. Appreciate it. Tariq. Someone shout everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Without saying it 100 times. Hope you ain't go to sleep, baby girl. You still in the house, mama? You already know, man. We got to take care of them children, brother. You already know it. Andy, it's good to have you, man. Hey, yo! He had a banger on. Yo! Kiramio had a banger on earlier. No, on the one the other day. Look, man, check it out. I don't know. Tell him I'm on my other channel. I shout him on some of the other platforms. Let him know, bro. You know. So, but yeah. 432 drop had a pretty what was it like the last one I saw like a few days ago. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? He had a pretty damn good one too, you know what I mean? But oh no, I appreciate it, beloved. Look, hey man, I'm gonna slide off of here, y'all. Finish this up, go get my bee juice, turn all these goddamn light noise off, and be the light that's supposed to be on the inside. Remember what I was talking about as far as rhythm, harmony, balance, frequencies? Everything that you exist in is based on a frequency. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Seriously. And when you realize that, you don't have to capitulate. You could just allow yourself to start disrupting the bad frequencies around you. It's hard. It's a battle. You'll feel it. Okay? I just want to end with that. Allow yourself to exist. And if you're not meant to be here tomorrow, what you worried about it for? But you're going to be somewhere. You don't die. And that's a fact. You might not be here, and people want to mourn and boo-hoo-hoo that wasn't mourning and boo-hoo-hooing when you was awake, looking at everything going on. So don't fret. Whatever you had, there'll be greedy, stupid people want to steal and take it where you live at and all that other stuff because they're meaningless and mindless. There's no come up. You know where the come up's at? Everybody comes together. So ain't nobody really having no come up. Chasing the bag. Why the hell would you want to chase a bag when you could chase one another and not in a fighting manner? But chase one another to be the family you were meant to be by the narrative of what family has been alluded to mean. Okay? Ladies, you are the power. Men, gentlemen, you are that which protects the power, the strength. Never forget that. No one else can do it. You will always be your first responder and your brothers and sisters keepers. All right? I appreciate y'all. And what was that? I run multiple businesses, my friend. I will leave my family and their kids with wealth. Okay. I hear you. See y'all tomorrow.